everyone, you're watching Booked with Amanda. I'm Amanda and I'm here to talk books with you. I'm back today with my Asian Readathon TBR. That Readathon is created and hosted by Read with Cindy, and I will link her channel below. And this Readathon is taking place from May 1st to the 31st. And basically, it's just a little readathon to get a little more diversity in your life, reading some Asian authors. Let's get into my TBR. First is read any book by an Asian author. And for that one, I'm going with Uzumaki by Junji Ito, who is Japanese. And it's basically about a small town, I think, that is becoming obsessed with spirals. They're cursed or something like that. It is a few volumes of a manga, so it looks really interesting, and I'm excited to dive into this one. Next, we have read a graphic novel featuring an Asian character or is written or drawn by an Asian author. And for that, I picked Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too. And that's by Johnny Sun. And it's basically about an alien that's sent to Earth to kind of learn about us, I believe. And then you kind of just learn his thoughts and just like kind of get a chance to see maybe what Earth is all about from a new set of eyes. So I heard this is actually surprisingly good and surprisingly touching. So I'm actually pretty excited to read about this. It's been on my radar for a few months, but I saw it on Book Outlet and I was like, yes, I had to pick that up. Yeah, this is perfect. I know I can read it guilt-free. Next, we have read a book featuring or written by an intersectional Asian. So for that one, I chose Tell Me Again How a Crush Should Feel. And this is by Sarah Farazan, and she has a Iranian background, and also the main character is Iranian. And she is also, focus, hi, she is also queer. So I believe this is basically following her through high school, and she has so far been able to slide under the radar with her sexuality, and she hasn't had any kind of crushes. And then a new girl comes into school and she kind of throws all her rules out the window, and it's, I guess, just like a YA contemporary love story kind of thing. So I thought I would lighten up my TBR a little bit and pull this one out. Prompt number 4 is to read a book by an Asian author that was originally written in their native language and then translated. And for that, I picked Human Acts by Han Kang, who is Korean. And this is basically, from what I remember, it's about a shooting. Yeah, in the midst of a violent student uprising in South Korea, a young boy named Dong-ho is shockingly killed. And I think this just kind of follows the aftermath of that situation. So I think it's kind of interesting to see a, book about shootings outside of the United States, because I think that that's a little rare. I haven't really seen a lot of books about shootings like this situation, a student being shot, in a different country. So I'm actually quite intrigued to see how this is. And I heard that Han Kang is actually a really good writer. It was my first book by him, but I also kind of had a things called Vegetarian on my radar, and so I'm interested to see how his writing is and to see how his storytelling is. So anyway, moving on, we have the 5th prompt, which is actually pretty simple, and that is just to read the group read. And the group read for this one is 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. It's edited by Helen O and Elsie Chapman. I think this is it's retellings of myths and legends of Asian origin, and there's 15 stories in there. So this will be kind of interesting and maybe a fun thing to do throughout the month, because you can just read a story here or there, right? It looks like it'll be interesting, so I'm excited to check that one out too. Since that's only 5 books and 2 of them are actually graphic novels and mangas. I was just mixing those two together. Graphic novels, perfect. Made a new word, guys. use it. Anyway, since those are the only 5 books that I have for May, and I like to challenge myself and or disappoint myself depending on how I'm feeling, I have decided to pick up the Sister Trilogy here by Mark Lawrence. So Red Sister, Grey Sister, and then Holy Sister, which just came out in April, is basically about a school run by nuns that teach girls to be badass, teach them to be assassins, teach them to be strong, and you know, it also is a fantasy, it has some magic in it, so I'm down for that. Basically, this is a series that was raved about by some of my fellow booktubers, so I have to pick it up. I just have to. I can't wait. So I'm going to try to shove that in May. I also have 2 books from my library coming in. That first one is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. That's actually for my Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, so I do really want to get to that one. That is the prompt of a book published posthumously, so basically it's about a love story, I'm assuming. Jane Austen. I don't know. I don't know what it's about, but surprisingly hard to find books that were published after the author passed away. A little harder than I thought it would be. But anyway, so that's on my radar. I also have Call Me By Your Name coming in from the library, and that's by Andre Ekman, and basically it's a love story between a young male and a much older male, I think his father's age or something like that, so I think it's a little bit controversial. I haven't seen the movie. I'm not 100% sure what it's about, but I'm going to read it this month, hopefully. And also, if I have a chance to, because why not, I'm going to continue with the Harry Potter series, the next one being The Prisoner of Azkaban. See if I can throw that in there too, because let's just set myself up for disappointment. I feel like I actually read less in the months of May, June, July, August, because it's beautiful. It's the only 4 months of the year in Winnipeg, where I live, that it's not minus 80 and it's not snowing and the sun actually comes out once in a while. So I do try to take advantage of going outside. As you can tell, I am naturally very pale, and by the end of winter I'm almost transparent. So I like to get out there and take my kids out to the parks and things like that. So anyway, that is my TBR for Asian Readathon, along with the rest of May. If you are participating in the Asian Readathon, or you're going to read any of the books, or you have read any of the books that I mentioned, please let me know below what you thought. And until next time, I will see you all again. Bye.